Every Dallas Cowboys themed question you see on today's mailbag comes from our live Cowboys Report audience. So if you want in on free videos every day and a chance to be a part of the live mailbags, then subscribe right now. From Emil Pedersen, will the Cowboys play in Europe anytime soon? Good question. You know, the NFL is going to expand a bit more broadly. In the past, Jerry Jones has refused to give up a home game to play overseas. He would only give up a road game, and so far, that has not been the case. I don't think Jerry has wanted to play in Europe. That could change at some point. Now, the Cowboys are one of the, I'm going to use the local term for the, as the NFL announced, like the rights management stuff for overseas and different country games. They're one of the teams from Mexico. I can almost guarantee you will see Dallas in the next 5 or 10 years play a game in Mexico at some point in the near future, maybe even giving up a home game to do that. So playing in Europe, I don't know. Playing out of the country, yeah, I think that's a very good chance of happening in the very near future for Dallas. All right, from John Carpenter, Kelvin Joseph was awesome. Is it time to start him? So a couple different overall talking points I want to hear because I knew we were going to get thousands of Kelvin Joseph questions. It's not going to happen. Like they're not going to start him right now, barring injury. I will say that Kelvin Joseph played great against the Washington football team. Everything you could have hoped for and more. Trayvon Diggs played great. Anthony Brown played great. Hell, Deshaun Wright played pretty decently in that game as well. So I'm not taking away anything from Kelvin Joseph. I think we should all feel pretty good about his long-term future as a potential corner based admittedly on a smaller one-game sample size. But I'll say this too. You can make a very real argument the Cowboys defense has been the number one defense in the NFL, especially as of late. So why change it? Like Anthony Brown, yes, was not great against the Bucs and got some BS flags on him against the Raiders. Beyond that, he's been great this year too. So I don't want to, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Now, if you want to revisit this in the offseason, okay, let's have that conversation. But your defense is playing well. Your weak point has not been corner. It's been your safety opposite, not named Jourdan Curse, and your linebackers that have been your issues this year. So, because you're not going to bench Trayvon Diggs, because anyone saying he's bad is stupid, pick one of these corners to bench. Can't play all four as a starter, quote unquote. Type in AB for Anthony Brown, KJ for Kelvin Joseph, or JL for Jourdan Lewis. This is the pinned comment on today's video. The ad break comes here on YouTube. Let it play. Head down there to the pinned comment and pick one to bench. From Golden Gaming 2000, I think we benched Jourdan Lewis for Kelvin Joseph because I want Joseph, perfect timing here, to have more opportunities. I want him to find his groove in Dallas because he is our long-term corner, which I agree with. I think Joseph is going to be a starter for you, which is exactly what you want. But this is very similar to trying the Connor McGovern at left guard over Connor Williams thing. And it didn't work. You made your offensive line worse for several games. So your defense is awesome right now. I don't want to change that too much. All right, from Robert Muncie, where would you rank the Cowboys defense in the NFL? Look, I like to use DVOA. They're number one in DVOA. They're number one. That's how good they've been. And I had zero realistic hope of Dallas even being a top 5 defense this year. But the job that Dan Quinn has done, the way he's maximized Micah Parsons beyond everybody's wildest expectations, is a really big deal. So I have been very impressed with the defense. Whether they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, not only can you win a championship with them, you might be able to win them because of it, in part. Super chat from Will Marshall. To spy or not to spy Kyler Murray? He's going to run, but Parsons has the speed to hunt him. Great question. I don't think you only spy. I don't think you only don't spy. I think you mix it up a little bit. Kyler is a very dynamic runner. I think you want to keep him contained a little bit in the pocket. Parsons can spy him. You still want to rush him a little bit. So it's a really good question, but it's not really a black or white answer from that perspective. It's more of you got to find a way to balance it properly. Can one of your safeties spy him? Could you get really creative and put Jourdan Lewis as a spy on him? And then that's how you get Kelvin Joseph out there on the field. Put Lewis as kind of one of your very undersized nickel backers. Like, that could be a creative way to make it work. It's different, but it's kind of what the Cowboys did last year with C.J. Goodwin spying Jalen Hurts. Just an idea I wanted to throw out there. Today's show is powered by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys125. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus when you use the promo code at the URL you see below. Bet on Dallas to make a run at something this year. You can bet on them to beat the Cardinals. This week, they are a 5.5-point favorite as of filming at this exact moment. Dallas, I think they win the football game. I think it'll be closer because Arizona's a better team than Washington. All you want to do is win the game. The Cowboys, by the way, have been awesome against the spread so far this year. So again, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is Cowboys125. That'll get you the 125% deposit bonus. It is the best betting book deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys125. Manster 54. I think the Arizona game will answer a lot of questions. I feel good about our chances. I'll put it to you this way, too. Bad teams don't blow out other bad teams by 40 points. That doesn't happen in the NFL. You might win by 20 if you get really lucky, like the Lions did against Arizona. But you win this game, I think you end up feeling a lot better about the Cowboys situation in terms of making a deep run. They've taken care of business as of late against not the best competition, but they've won those games. They've covered those spreads. That's certainly a big factor in that situation. But I think that if you can take down Arizona, that is a very promising sign. I think we would all feel a lot better about their Super Bowl chances moving forward. Remember, it's Mayberry. What position do we take with the first draft pick? I don't know. You've got plenty of needs out there from potentially defensive end, linebacker, safety. You got a bunch of free agents, interior offensive line, future left tackle, possibly receiver, maybe a tight end. Check in with me in a month, and we'll have a better feel because I'm not that focused on the draft at this point. From TKG, you see us resting starters the last week of the season. If you have nothing to play for, then yeah, I think you will. I don't think that ends up being the case, so I don't think you end up sitting them for that last week of the year because you got something to play for. Go win, get the best seed possible. That will end up helping out significantly. From Chris Simon, should Malik Turner play more? First off, very impressed by Malik Turner. He's been, every time he plays, he makes a big play. He steps up. He's been good. I think at worst, he's your number 5 corner at the current moment. He's been a very good football player for the Dallas Cowboys. I like what I've seen from him in a very small role. Here's your problem. How do you get him on the field more? You're not going to bench Amari Cooper. You're not going to bench CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to bench Michael Gallup. Cedric Wilson has also made plenty of plays for this team as of late. A little bit less so recently, but he's made plays. You know, you play him over Stephen Hoko, Dove, or Noah Brown, sure, but that's wide receiver 5 or receiver 4 at best. There aren't that many snaps right now to go around for a guy like Malik Turner, despite him being a promising little player for him. So pick a receiver for me. Who should be wide receiver 4? Because I remember when we were like, Cedric Wilson can replace Mel Gap, and now it's like, maybe it's Malik Turner. It's all fair in the end. Type in MT for Malik Turner, or type in CW for Cedric Wilson. Which wide receiver would you guys rather have as receiver 4 for this Dallas Cowboys team? Out of the comments and let me know. From your favorite Cowboys fan, where is Golston? I have not seen him in a minute. He had a touchdown Sunday night, block punt. He's been part of the rotation for the Cowboys along that defensive line. He's been involved as kind of a defensive end, defensive tackle at points, kind of rotation guy. He's a rotational player right now. I mean, look, think about who he's behind as a pure edge, right? Parsons gets reps there. He's behind DeMarcus Lawrence. He's behind Randy Gregory, and he's still behind really Basham and Armstrong. He got 21 snaps, and I think he actually had a sack in that game technically. So he's doing fine. He's at the back end of the rotation at the moment. Super chat from Markov of Spain. Dak had some nice passes versus Washington, but my God, the coverage was so bad. Most of them throwing catching the score. Was the DBs that bad? There were several throws in that game, by the way, that were absolute dimes by Dak Prescott. There were several to Amari Cooper. There was one to CeeDee Lamb where Dak lets the ball go and he's double covered and still drops it in the bucket. I'll put it to you this way, and I made this point many times during our watch parties. Far too often, I would say, opposing team wide receiver wide open. That wasn't being said very much for the Cowboys in recent weeks. So getting that part going is a big deal for Dallas. The football team's DBs are not that bad. Your receivers just kind of got back on track at long last. From Andres Castro, what is the Cowboys' ideal road to the Super Bowl if they are the number 2 seed? Okay. If you're the 2 seed, you're probably playing Philadelphia or maybe the Saints or the Vikings. It's a game you should win. It'd be very frustrating and borderline fireable if you do not win that game. Then as the 2 seed, I would wager the Bucks are maybe the Bucks are the 3 seed in that scenario. I think that's what you would want. Well, maybe you get lucky and the Bucks are the 4 seed. That's probably what you want. Actually, the Bucks are the 4 seed. You play the NFC West champion Rams or Cardinals. It's a game you could win. And then I think ideally the Bucks upset the Packers. I would rather be at home against Tampa than on the road against Green Bay. So I think that's kind of your ideal path. Beat the 7 seed, get lucky and draw the NFC West winner, and then get a home game in the conference title game because the 1 seed lost somewhere along the way. Now, if you want to be a part of these Dallas Cowboys mailbags, subscribe. We are free here at the Dallas Cowboys Report. Free videos every single day going on around the Cowboys news, rumors, injury updates, free agency, offseason draft stuff as we move further along into that side. So if you want to join us for free videos every single day, hit that big red button and subscribe. Henry Nutch, who do the Cowboys draft at 32? I don't know. Hopefully a good football player helps you have more success next year, and I hope they're at 32 as well. Jason Johnson, I'm a little concerned about us only beating one above average team. There's going to be a drastic change in the postseason. So I understand where you are coming from. I really do, that the level of competition is going to get a lot tougher in the postseason. That's why it's so hard to win in the postseason. You almost beat the Bucks on the road. You beat the Chargers. They're an above-average team on the road. You beat the Patriots on the road, too. All 3 of those games have been on the road this year. Now, you lost to the Chiefs, but we know what this team can do. I think it's reasonable to be concerned. I don't think it's enough to totally dismiss Dallas, though. From... holy shit, that's a lot of vowels. All right, Jubo. It's the If it's the Rams, they can confuse our linebackers and run. That's fair. I think hopefully you aren't relying on your linebackers to make a bunch of plays for you because they can and will confuse LVE, Keanu Neal. But this Cowboys defense is a lot different than the defense the Cowboys faced in 2018 postseason when it was just kind of a disaster from that perspective. So, fair point. That's why the playoffs are tough. That's why it's hard to win playoff games because it's good teams for the most part. The Rams will not be an easy out if you draw them. Now, speaking of the playoffs, what is your confidence level here in the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl? Scale it for me, 1 to 100. If we're being honest, it should be low. Unless your name is Tom Brady, it's really friggin' hard to win a Super Bowl. So, let me know what you have to say. Scale your confidence level for me 1 to 100 right now in the comments section. How confident are you in Dallas winning the Super Bowl? From Joey, we know what happens in a 3-way tie. What about a 4-way tie? Same thing. Multi-team tiebreakers, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, not that high. It's the same scenarios. Dallas will take care and win those 3-way ties if they win out and get the help that they need to close the postseason beyond that. Samuel Rowe, Rodgers chokes in NFC Championship games. It's funny, both those quarterbacks, Packers and the Bucks, didn't have a great game in the championship game last year. I'll also make this note. Rodgers also doesn't choke against Dallas, so I would prefer to not play Green Bay. I don't want to play Tampa if I can avoid it, but you probably got to play one of those teams. So given Rodgers' history against Dallas, I'd prefer to avoid that from that perspective.